Scorpio, let's get right to it. What's happening with your love life? And or lack thereof, whichever the case may be. Ha ha ha. Well, if you came to see me, I have a feeling that communications are not exactly what you are hoping, and you want some understanding, right? Well, hey, I get it. There's just, when I made my own deck of cards, there was so many things that, like, all these almost like ghosts coming up and telling me, make sure to put this in the deck, make sure to put this in the deck, because there's so many painful messages that never got said. And I wanted to hear them all from every spirit I could hear from. And I have a pretty good set, but it only goes to tell you how many things that explain a lack of communication or confusion in a relationship. And I'm not going to kid you that overall energy. Well, let's put it in perspective. There might be more to this, but I sometimes when I see certain cards, I try not to have an automatic reaction, because sometimes it's just a what do you call it when you don't even have time to think it through. It's just or it's not even a download or psychic feeling. It's just that reaction that you have, just like fight or flight response, right? Okay. So let's see. The Page of Pentacles upside down, and next to the High Priestess upside down. Interesting. Okay. So when I see a court card, I see it as your person. And when I see a major arcana, it more often than not, but not always, depending on the context, will be a significant how they see you. But and oftentimes it can be both, how they see you and also how they see themselves, and so let's see. All right. So this page wants to start something that's more in the tangible world. Page of Pentacles is generally not thinking too much about love, but mind you that a pentacle is a resource, and love can be considered a resource in certain contexts. So it's possible that they see love as a resource, but they're not ready to start on anything yet. They see you, I think, as a high priestess, although they might themselves be one. Because, and it kind of stands to reason, because there's that whole idea of projection and whatnot, right? So they can see themselves and you as the same. But for right now, I'm thinking they're seeing you as this person that has one foot in the tangible world, something that they can relate to, and one that is more on a spiritual level, that sees things on a higher level. But it's in the upside down, so I wouldn't say it's potential. I think that they feel that you're perhaps not being true to your own nature. Now, I'll have to look some more to see exactly where I'm going with that. It sounds harsh, but fear not. Sometimes it doesn't come clear. That's why I have my 9-card spread, because I can cross-reference things and get to the bottom of it. A lot of times when there's confusion, and it's not really confusion, when there's a larger concept at hand and it just needs to be fleshed out. Okay. And usually awesome when a larger concept that needs to be fleshed out is here, because we get to learn something really interesting. Your person is struggling with worldview. I probably could have seen that happening. Okay. They're focused on resources. and they want to start, or they want to start focusing on resources. They're struggling with their worldview, meaning they possibly could be feeling that they don't want to fight anymore over worldview. I don't know if it's with you. Let's see what the cross section here is. The Queen of Cups in the upside down. Yeah, it could be with you. So that might be why. Okay. I think that okay. Now, how do I explain this without it sounding like they're judging you? Please remove all thoughts that they are judging you. This is somebody who's trying to figure some things out. And I am doing a general reading, so the overarching ideas may not be specific enough to be able to point to something more understandable. So we're going to speak in generalities, but try not to get too worried that your person is judging you. If they're struggling with worldview themselves, then they're going to be seeing the world in terms of this or that. Is the truth here, or is the truth in some spiritual woo-woo world? They're struggling, right? So if they feel that they can't speak to you, they feel thwarted in their ability to show their love, because they're feeling a little bit combative in the worldview. And right now it's on everybody's mind. I mean, couples are getting divorced left and right, and those that aren't have to be learning how to tolerate each other's opinions, even though it feels like life and death, some of these positions that we're taking today. I mean, like think about things like the wall, for instance. There's this argument over who's protected and who should be protected, and why everyone should be protected, and there's you can go rounds all day, and it's very confusing. So if you're questioning your worldview and you're with somebody who is sure about their worldview, it can come into conflict. And that's not to say that they don't ultimately agree with you, or that you don't ultimately agree with them, or that you don't both change, but this is something that's on their plate, Scorpio. And I think that they feel a little I think that since these are potentials, I don't think they've actually talked to you about it enough to know for sure, but they feel the potential of being trapped and like being in the doghouse if they try to talk to you about it. I think so. And their love is just like spilling out into nowhere, because love isn't going to mean a hill of beans if you're in conflict over things that are way too important to ignore. I don't want that to happen to you guys. I don't think that the spirit guides would be telling us the story unless they know of a way that you guys can work this through. Okay, so let's keep on the story here and see how we can work it through. They are afraid to start a communication about it. That's the Page of Swords there. And I would have gone in this order, but because of this, I was curious about where the conflict is. They're afraid to. They're willing to start a conversation with you, put it that way. But they're afraid of being in the doghouse, and that their love will just go into nowheresville. Love won't mean a hill of beans if you disagree with them. They could be rejected. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but here's the thing. I'm really digging this. Okay. The Strength card, however. Oh, and we also have the Ten of Pentacles. So not all is doom and gloom here. These are in the upright. Okay. Your person is willing to be vulnerable with you. And I don't think that would be possible unless you are willing to be vulnerable with them. So, and is this the only major arcana out here? No, we got this one too. Okay. This is the only one in the upright, however. I kept feeling strongly, strength, that this card is really, even though that's the overriding card, this is the most powerful one here on the table right now, because it's not a potentiality, it's, or an avoidance, it's actually happening. They either can trust that they can calm you or that you can calm them, but there's a lot of trust between you guys. I think that if there is a difference, you might need to take neutral corners. So they're worried that there's a potentiality of needing to take some potentiality to take neutral corners, take a time out, but because ultimately you can prosper together. Okay, you know what? This is the kind of test that relationships can be built on, that make them more solid. If you guys can get past this potential conflict and talk it through and actually be the strength card, then you guys are headed for some very, very strong, it would take a lot to break you guys if that's the case. Now, the overall energy is that, your person is kind of saturated with, they're not really focused on the cup of love. They need to spend some time on their own in order to be able to come at this, and I almost want to say that this card almost belongs here, because it is the overall sense, because your person knows that love isn't going to solve it all. It's going to take this communication and vulnerability. There might be a need to have some neutral corners a bit. This is not a simple situation. And so just saying, well, we love each other, that's great and all, but I think that your person knows that your relationship has to be built on something stronger than that. So I see whether or not you're in a relationship and you guys are, getting closer, or that they open up to you more, or why they're kind of shut down. They may need the time and space to no, I don't want to just go out and have a good time with you right now, or cuddle. And I got all this crap on my mind. I can't be just all lovey-dovey, Doesn't mean I don't wanna. It's just not right now. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what the angels have to say. All right. Make the effort. Look at that. Look at that. I love that picture. And that's what you really need to do, okay? Yeah, deception, this makes sense. Wearing a mask, because honestly, your person, they don't want to reject you outright right now. They have to kind of just wear this mask while they're working it out. So just be aware that they're just needing some space, and they don't necessarily want to be, deception isn't always a bad thing. It's sometimes you wear a mask because you love someone enough to not want to worry them while you're trying to sort something out, right? And you deserve love. Aw, look at, there's an arrow just like Cupid. Okay, well, you know what? Your person and you are capable of it, and you deserve it. And that is your reading, Scorpio.